going on, folks? Just a thought, people. Now, this question I would have with people that's like not a lot older, but out of school, out of high school, went through elementary, high school, middle school, all that stuff. Maybe a little college, maybe graduated college. Um, and I'll start from kindergarten to all the way up until 12th grade. Now, I've been out of school for quite some time. And one day I just kind of thought about like what I actually learned, you know, that because I learned a lot of stuff, but I really had to really sit back and think like what did I learn that prepared me for life? How many things can I say? Being an adult right now, how many things can I say that I actually learned in school that actually that changed my life, that helped my life to where it is. And I really couldn't think of nothing. I really couldn't think of nothing because there's a lot of things in school that I've learned that I've never heard of, or not say heard of, but I don't use it. I don't do none of that stuff. The stuff I can't say none of that stuff like help me in life. Like my life isn't better because of a lot of the things that was taught in school. And it's almost like, what are they teaching these kids, man? Because a lot of it's not going to help these kids when they become adults, and it's just like, it's kind of a waste of time. And I'm all for education, but in the right departments, like, I think kids, they need a more clearer education as far as life skills and stuff like that, which I think primarily is the duty of the parents. But they do what they can as they're raising the kids, but what are they learning in school that actually helps them in life? They could say, hey, I would never say, my third grade science class helped me with something, and it's just like made me think, and of course you need to learn things as basic things, but primarily, what I've learned, what I can say I've learned was to one, read, write, and math. And that's it. Like, think about it. Primarily, your life consists of reading, writing, and math. And that's about it. I mean, unless you take specialty classes and stuff like that, but even that, it's like, how much do you use of that now, compared to when you were in school? How has that helped with your life? How's that going? And I've never really thought about that. And it's just like, what are they teaching these kids? Are they really teaching them things that'll help them? Because the school system is ancient, man. It's tarnished. It's tarnished. Excuse that. It's tarnished. It's almost like the same curriculum from, I don't know, about 100 years ago, and it, the lessons and a lot of the things that's taught in school never, there's no benefit. There's nothing helping you with life or anything. you know and it's good to know your history, but you have to question the history that the kids are being taught, because a lot of that stuff is I would say irrelevant. And kids need to know their history. They need to know about certain things, but I don't know. I can't really say about any type of history or social study or anything that I've learned that I can say, help me. You know what I mean? It's just like, help me. Like, what did it help me through or anything like that? And and it's really hard a lot of times to really understand the credibility of a lot of these lessons, because who's putting all this stuff together. No one knows. They just, you're in class, you get a book, and they tell you to read, and that's it. And they go over the lesson, and you got to memorize it, and test coming up, and that's it. But how useful is a lot of that stuff? You know how useful? Because don't really never it never teach you about life. And the way I see it, looking back at it now, it almost teaches you how to be a worker. You never learn to be self sufficient. To the point where you're inspired and encouraged to do things on your own. To possibly start a business or really follow your passion and see what you want to do with your life. And beyond 12th grade, high school, or whatever, and you go to college and all that, and it's an exciting moment and stuff like that. But a lot of times you go into college, you don't really know. You still don't know what life is. You still don't understand. In college, primarily from what I've seen, and I got a little college experience. Had never graduated, but I had experience. But for the most part, I just see a lot of young kids that don't really know what they want to do with themselves, and they just out there partying, man, and which is cool. Ain't nothing wrong with partying, have a good time, enjoying that freedom from your parents and all that. I understand that's a good thing, but you know, what are you learning? Like, are you really learning about life around this time? And a lot of them kids don't. And the one thing I understand more and more about college, that type of education, is that there's no guarantee. Like, you can go to school years on end, that still doesn't guarantee you getting a job and what you got a degree in or what you was going for. There's no guarantee. I mean, people with no degrees a lot of times are able to get jobs, because they know somebody within the company that can put in the work for them and put them in the right direction, get them hired. No degree. And the sad part about it is literally the only guarantee that I've noticed is debt. That's the only guarantee that I noticed. Because oh yeah, you get them student loans, all that, all this and that, and you graduate and everything's good. You getting that bill. Whether you get hired, whether you're able to get employment in your field, your degree, you getting that bill. And it's like, the people, a lot of times the kids ain't prepared for that, and you're stuck. It's no guarantee. It's no guarantee. That's why I said it's really important to really give your kids an understanding, about life as much as you can as they're growing up. So, they're not overwhelmed when the time comes, because I see that happening to a lot of kids to where, you go to school, everybody's always this seems to be the cycle. It's like, all right, you're gonna go to college. The parents, that's the main thing they tell their kids: you're going to college, you're going to college, you're going to college. But it's like, are you supposed to say that because you're the parent, or is it just because that's just the system? You go to school, you graduate high school, and you go to college. That's the next step. And it's like, college ain't built for everybody. College ain't built for most, honestly. They just go, like I said, to party. Which is cool. Once all said and done, it's cool. To have fun, enjoy your freedom. But you're never learning really about life. You're not learning about life. You graduate, you get your degree. Now you got this huge old bill, and whatever you got your degree in, you're trying to look for a job. It's hard to find a job. Then before you know it, you end up somewhere where you don't want to be, with this big ass student loan bill, excuse my language, and you're not getting hired, so you're just out there, waiting for that big break. But meanwhile, you're getting a bill every month, and they want their money, and you're in hella debt. You're in, $50,000, $60,000 in debt, and that's kind of like when life hits you, and then you're behind. You're behind trying to recover from that, and you're not even in what you went to school for. And that's the harsh reality of it all. And I don't want to discourage anyone from going to school at all, but you should definitely understand that it's a little bit more. It takes more than a degree. to learn about life and to understand what you're getting yourself into. Because college is probably one of the biggest illusions that's out there because it's no guarantee. Only guarantee you're gonna get is that student loan debt. That's the only guarantee. Nothing else. Everything else isn't. And honestly, I fell victim to that as well. I went there thinking, hey, I'm gonna get degree, this and that, and my situation, bills got so overwhelming. I had to take a break and really ain't sit back. But me taking a break didn't matter. I got a bill. I owed quite a bit. And never really got into a field using my degree. Never, and I never finished. I never finished, but I kind of understood. It took me a minute, but I understood that hey, being in school is great, but where does it get me? Am I gonna have a job waiting on me as soon as I get done? And that's another thing. It's like people pay all this money. You going to school just to get out and go work for someone else. That's it. You just going to work for you. You're going to be someone else's slave. You know. You may get paid good. At the beginning, because you're young. You're young, and you're just happy you're getting paid and all this and that. So you don't really understand. But that's the thing that's kind of the thought I've thought I came up with for the day. But you know, I encourage anybody. I don't want to discourage anybody from going to college and all that, but understand. Have a plan. Understand what you're going to be doing, following that, because you know they show no mercy when it comes to that student loan, and you don't really want to start out basically as a full-fledged adult going through life and you already behind. And it's almost systematic because there's so many people in debt, but they were going to school for the same reasons. Get that degree, get the higher paying job, and you know be able to establish your life as an adult. Family and all this and that. Getting nice things and enjoying things, but it's not built for everybody. It's not. It's really not. And the only thing that I've gained, and one thing I have gained was through networking. I was able to meet some really like-minded people who I later on down the line did business with, and that worked out. So I could say another thing about college is it's really good to network because you can get to talk with other people with similar interests and stuff like that, and collaborations and resources and all that. You can exchange a lot of that stuff. So I mean that's another good part about it. But overall it's a hard road following that because you're so much behind. It's almost like you got to spend years and years digging out that hole before you can really start enjoying stuff. And I personally, I would tell anybody like, hey, if you have inspirations, you have a dream, a lot of times, don't feel like you have to go to school before you pursue that stuff. And I'm talking like when you graduate, I'm talking high school stuff like that. I wouldn't say drop out of school, but people have done it. There's very successful people that people didn't know that dropped out of high school, dropped out of college. Bill Gates dropped out of college. One of the richest people in the world. So it's stories like that that let me know like you don't have to have that thing to be successful. You really don't. It's a boost. It's a good boost. It's something that you can hold on to and maybe use for a good paying job. There's no successful people saying that this degree got me millions. It's people that just took that chance and got out there and worked hard and didn't stop. And they got to where they got. Not one of them said I got my degree and that got me my millions. You know, that's one thing I noticed doing, just doing my research on a lot of successful people. And none of them mentioned, how the degree got them, successful, or the wealth that they acquired. There's nothing, no degrees were involved at all, period. So, and that let me know, like, like, you don't really need that stuff most of the time, especially if you kind of have an idea what you want to do. Why waste your time in college where you can just pursue it? Because you can do that all day, you can go to school and all this and that, but and then try and pursue afterwards. But now you got this bill you got to handle, and you really it's hard to really focus on what you're trying to do, your purpose, when you got this bill that's probably gonna take like 20 years to pay off. you know. But I'm just going on, man. The video went longer than expected, but I feel real strong about this. And anybody that's seeing this, man, I tell you, man, just figure out what you want to do, and get around people with similar interests. That can encourage you, and they can help you, and you can help them, and y'all build together and grow. Because a lot of that stuff ain't what it seems, and for you stuck, and it's almost like the system is designed to make sure that you're stuck. Because at the end of the day, you go to college to get the degree to go work for someone else, for the rest of your life, and never really get to do anything, never get to accomplish anything but getting a check. And there's something wrong with it. Do what you do, because people, everybody's not built for that part either. Everybody's not built for business. People are workers, and that's understandable, because some people, they don't want to take that plunge. They rather just be safe, play it safe with benefits and all that. And that's just as much of an illusion as the whole college thing, because your livelihood is still not in your control. It's in who you working for. It's in their control. And they look at you as an asset. You're an asset to them because you're the one bringing them money. That's the idea. When you're a worker, you're an asset. They're looking at you like, hey, this guy can make me some money, or this lady can make me some money, and that's all they're looking at. And the second it ain't working no more, or they feel like they get rid of you and pay somebody younger, that can work longer, more years, and take less pay, they'll do it. No hesitation, because it's like, all right, you're expendable. We'll bring in somebody, pay them less, that could do just as good as you. So I'm gonna end the video right here, but like, share, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. Appreciate it. Shout out to my boy B with the Pressure clothing line. You know what I'm saying? I represent, man, Rochester, New York all day. I appreciate y'all, showing some love. And do some next video. See you when I see you. Peace.